Rainer, thanks very much for joining us. Just give us an update on the current view on the market from IC Campus, and I guess how you've been seeing the last 12 to 18 months.
A lot of continental European markets have seen their universities going online and economics going into lockdowns after summer last year. So everybody was affected who is tied to the higher education system. And depending on which market you're looking into, effects have been stronger or less significant. In Germany and Austria and also the Netherlands, where we are active, I think the sector has proven to be pretty resilient, which is due to the fact that rental contract structures allowed for meeting tenants' requirements. And a lot of young people have chosen to stay on the PBSA schemes instead of going back home. So, for example, we had physically north of 50% of the tenants on the schemes, even during hard lockdown periods. We also have been quite lucky not to have significant infection cases. And now we are actively preparing for the sector or the universities to go back to offline or at least hybrid in autumn this year, keeping fingers crossed, but we are well prepared to absorb the next wave coming. And I expect this to be in principle double wave, because it's the first year students of 2021 and a significant portion of 2020 first year students who have stayed at home because their semester start has pretty much collided with lockdowns. So they decided to stay at their home base and are now desperately looking to get away from home and to feel and absorb the real lifestyle of being a student.
And Rainer, what's the position been in terms of acquisitions?
And we are still, as a group, on a very, very strong growth path. We have announced earlier this year that we want to invest €1 billion in new projects over the next 24 months. And compared to non-COVID years, we still see a strong pipeline. And we see very good prospects that we will meet our acquisition targets. And this is due to various factors. A, we see an absence of a lot of intercontinental buyers due to travel restrictions. So on-site DDs are hard to perform if you can't travel. And B, for sure, we have been very active over the last 24 months to promote ourselves into the market and to bring the story across that we are believing in the sector and that we are focusing on strong growth of our portfolio. And these factors together lead to a situation that we're doing pretty good on the acquisition side these days.
And Rainer, where are you looking to invest in terms of locations? Are you targeting new markets or looking to grow in the countries where you're already invested?
We're looking primarily into the companies we're active. As said, it's Germany, Netherlands, and Austria. For sure, Germany has geographically a wider span than Austria or the Netherlands. And we are quite active in Vienna and try to evolve our Vienna portfolio into an Austrian portfolio, looking quite actively into Linz, Graz, Innsbruck, Salzburg. In Germany, for sure, we're focusing on the Big Seven. We have made an acquisition in Frankfurt. In addition to the existing scheme, we have made an acquisition in Bonn. We have earlier this year announced another acquisition in Freiburg. So Germany allows for, let's say, a blend between strong economic centers plus highly reputed student spots, which are sought after also by international students. And in the Netherlands, it's the usual cities like Amsterdam for sure, but also Rotterdam, Maastricht, Utrecht, Leiden, and some others who are highly attractive for product.
And how do you see capital demand, Rainer? I mean, is capital still seeing this as a defensive sector?
The perception of PBSA currently is it has proven in the last 18 to 24 months that it's delivering stable rental flow, that it has proven to be resilient relatively, but also in absolute terms compared to other asset classes. Take hospitality, take retail. Yeah. And if you look back into the last, let's say, 20 or 30 years, on student numbers and also on international traffic of students, there has always been a peak after a crisis. We have seen that in the 90s, we have seen that in the early 2000s, we have seen it again after the financial crisis in 10-11, because for obvious reasons, investments in education is always an investment into individuals' future. And geographically, this also goes along with the fact that especially the countries we're in have seen strong influx of young students from Southern Europe, where these countries economically have been hit harder by crisis in the last cycles, plus the fact that young people are coming then to Germany or to the Netherlands for higher education with the dream or the idea or the objective to finding a job afterwards. Yeah. And taking these factors into consideration, we strongly believe that once we arrive in a new normal, however that will look like as regards framework, Germany and the Netherlands will see strong international growth in student populations.
Really interesting to catch up, Rainer, and look forward to tracking International Campus and the growth plans. Thanks very much for joining us.
You're welcome, Richard.